What up, everybody? This is the State Championship Pro 1-2 Crit. It was in Fort Pierce, Florida, and it was windy. That's about all I got to say about that. 16-mile-per-hour winds shredded the field immediately, and as you're going to see on the screen, it will pop up, and I haven't seen this many DNFs since a Cat 5 race. Like I said, it was so crazy windy, and this course, there was nowhere to hide. No buildings, no downtown districts. So you had to feel the effects of the crosswinds on both sides of the straightaway, and then you had a nice roundabout that you had to deal with winds, and also worrying about pedal clipping, and every corner I feel like was just powered out of at 30 miles an hour. So the first 15 minutes of this race was legit just hellfire. Every race before this had a breakaway, and the breakaway was successful, and every breakaway went within the first 5 laps, it seemed like. So there's a lot of talk about doing the Zwift start on this race, and immediately as soon as that gun went off, there's 2 attacks. Now, we had plans to put one of our guys in an early move, but it really didn't happen because when the gun went off, usually in most races, everybody just starts clipping in and they start going and we gradually get up to speed. With this one, it was clip in and go. If you missed your pedal, you're done. You might as well just pull right off and go home because that was the move. It was poof, and let's go. So it really got brought back pretty early. I don't even think it ever went. So we had some really well represented guys in this race. You had ButcherBox here, which is always a threat. You had Best Buddies, which is always a threat. And those are 2 of the main guys that we were going to watch this race. Unfortunately, they were just so aggressive. And I kind of thought to myself that I needed to be in any move that ButcherBox or Best Buddies was in. And I did a really good job at that. And I kind of surfed the wheels and was with every move that Ruben sent and then Connor sent. And it was almost like we had a breakaway. We had a successful breakaway. Within like 20 minutes of the race, half the field was gone. Or we were lapping them. So we had a bunch of lapped riders that were joining our breakaway. But the problem was we kept kicking each other in the dick for some reason. We had a breakaway. It was just, let me attack you. No, let me attack you. No, let me attack you. It was never really, we never really worked well together. It was a constant trying to go solo. I think everybody wanted to go solo because of the wind. And here's where I messed up is that we had 2 people with us that really weren't rotating at all. And they're strong racers. So my thought was, well, I'm not going to go with the next move. So Ruben attacks, and he goes up the road, and there's a gap separated. And that's threatening. But I said, I'm not going to go with it because they're not going to let it go. And sure enough, as we came around the corner into the cross block headwind, Connor swings far right and attacks right into the wing. And I still was on that pedestal of I'm not going to chase that. Nope, not going to do it. Big mistake because Ruben went bye-bye forever. Ended up lapping the field. Spectacular performance. It was amazing. Sucks I wasn't there, but that's racing, right? You make your decisions, you shit the bed, you got to live with it. And then the move that Connor went with, I should have jumped with that too, but I really wanted to try to get these other 2 guys to maybe go with that move, and then I would take the free ride up. Unfortunately, Racer IQ, they did not go, so us 3 missed the train. We kind of worked well together for a little bit of the race, and then I thought, well, I'm gonna, the peloton's catching us, or what's left of the peloton. I'm just going to try to attack into the headwind section and see if I can just create some separation. Unfortunately, that did not happen. Torcat stayed with me the entire attack, and they kind of just ruined the whole dynamic of the little breakaway we had. I don't know if we ever would have caught Connor, but we would have probably stayed away from the peloton. But who knows? I mean, who knows what would have happened. Like I said, the attack kind of ruined the dynamic of the breakaway, and then those two refused to work whatsoever. So then I kind of sat up and waited for the peloton to come back, and we're all back together. So what you're seeing right here on the screen is you got Owen in front of me from Shot Performance, my teammate, and he's kind of just, I'm going to sit on his wheel. I'm going to take the draft, and I know he's going to want to lead us out, but I just don't know if he wants to go in any kind, try to create a break himself, and because we're all racing for third place at this point. Connor's already 40 seconds up the road, and I believe Ruben's already in this group with us. So 1 and 2 spots, done. So we're racing for third, which podium, state crit, it's a big deal. So the main thing was on this course is stay up front, because if you go to the back, you really have that rubber band effect. And last year I was in the back, and for whatever reason this year we didn't really have that good of attendance. Last year I want to say we had like over 50 racers. This time 30 maybe. So don't know what's up with that, but whatever. It was a good race. Kind of talk about Sunday. So while we're watching this race, Sunday I had 2 time trials. I did the Eddie Merckx time trial in the morning, so it was about an hour south of where I was staying, and my race was at 8:30 in the morning. So I got done with this race, and by the time I got home, back to the hotel, showered, and got something to eat, it was already like 11 o'clock. The next thing you know, I'm watching some kind of crazy movie on Netflix, and then it's 1 o'clock in the morning, and I got a race at 8:30 in the morning, and I still have to drive. So I really shot myself in the foot with recovery. Went out there, did the time trial, did amazing. I got first place in the Eddie Merckx, so that's cool, state champ on that. And then I had to sit there for about 5 hours and wait for my category race to happen. So, and it was kind of in the middle of nowhere. Unfortunately, I didn't bring enough food. I didn't really want to drive, so I just sat there, watched the Giro Italia, and did not eat, and then did a time trial at 1 o'clock and went home. I had some snacks. I think I had an Oreo in the car or whatever. Definitely not time trial food, but got second in the Cat 1-2 time trial. Once again, Ruben took first. Amazing performance. Can't take anything away from him. He rode amazing this weekend, so congrats to Best Buddies and Ruben. But we're coming down to the finish of this race. We have about a minute and a half left, and we're going into like 3 to go here. Making sure I'm staying at the front of the race, kind of nestled in right behind Owen. And like I said, we're racing for third place. We all wanted that spot, so it was actually still pretty aggressive towards the end. A lot of bumping and trying to fight for position. You see right up here on the right, kind of slides in. And this is where I mess up. I let him come in and take my spot. I was mad. I mean, it was a hard race, so I let him take my spot, and I'm like, oh, okay, maybe I'll just come around him at the end. I never did do that. So you'll see the outcome of the race coming up soon. We're coming into the chicane area now. And this is where we really didn't have any communication, because I had no idea that Owen was just about to take off. So I was like, oh, shit, I better go, because Owen's going. I'm going to ride that train out to the final corner and go down for a third place field sprint. So we're taking it full gas into the crosswind section. Everything's a crosswind on this course. Coming to the final turn here, and I go ahead and we try to do a sprint. Not a great sprint. It's a sprint. We ended up getting 4th place. So I'm happy, but I really wish I made some different moves in that race. Anyways, here it is. Till next time, deuces. Give me a follow.